Alright guys, what we're doing today is we've had some roasted chickens. I showed you some recipes with roasted chickens. I keep the racks when we cut down the meat off the roasted chickens. I make stock out of them. I've showed you how to make the stock before. So what I have here is I have a couple roasted chickens that we just that I made the stock for last night. What we're going to do is to continue our total utilization of our of our product. We've shown it with our sea bass. We've shown it with our chicken. What we're going to do is we're going to take all the pieces of meat that are left on the racks after they've been cooked down for stock, and the little bits and pieces of meat we're going to use in a recipe to make chicken pot pie. So we're going to do a chicken pot pie recipe here in a little bit, and what we're doing is we're just peeling the meat off. You know, there's different little cavities and stuff that hold meat. Even fillet. Trying to take all the meat off of the chicken, you're always going to have a pile of meat left. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're taking it all off, any bones, any such, and then we're going to use that as our chicken in our in our pot pies. And it's another meal. It's another meal to get out of a $5 chicken. So you have the original roasted chicken the one day, and then you can have a couple other meals with minimal investment on your time and money, and just add a little bit to it. So instead of spending a whole bunch of money on a whole new meal, you're using your product to its fullest. So, which is in this day and age, with the way prices are, you have to get every ounce you can out of everything you can. That's for sure. With the way the prices are these days, shopping at the bulk stores can be a big help, but using every ounce of your resource is a good way to maximize all your utilizations. So, but we'll do this step by step, do it as a how-to, and we'll keep you guys informed. Thank you. Alright guys, so out of 2 chicken racks that we made stock out of, that's the amount of usable meat that we got out of there. So there's quite a bit of meat. So really that's about enough meat that you're going to need added with all your vegetables for making a chicken pot pie. So there's another meal utilized out of 2 chickens that normally people would throw away and not utilize the rack for stock to make soups and sauces, and then to pick the meat from the bones to continue another recipe. So complete utilization. It saves you money. You make you still can make really good recipes out of it. You just have to be willing to take a little bit of the time and effort and put it into it, and you can make phenomenal another meal to feed your family. Right now we picked the chicken the other day, so right now we got our onions in the our onions and leeks are in the pan. We're going to brown them, cut some garlic. We got like 5 or 6 carrots cut up, 3 potatoes cut up, bag of corn, picked chicken, chicken stock, and we're going to thicken our pot pie with barley. Barley's a really good starch for you. You can use it because it'll absorb a lot of liquid, and in a pot pie you want to have it. Your stuffing doesn't want to be running out. It wants to have a thickened consistency to it. So that's what we're going to do. Instead of using a flour roux, we're going to add a benefit of barley. Because barley's actually really good for you. So we're going to add that to it. So you got carrots, corn. I don't put peas in my pot pies. I know a lot of people do. I don't like peas particularly. One thing I don't particularly care for. So this recipe makes enough for two pot pies, 2 9-inch pot pies. So I don't make my own crust, so we bought the crust because it's simpler and we can get them done a lot quicker. So right now our onions are browning. We'll be putting our garlic in a minute, cooking off our carrots and potatoes to just about where they soften up, and then we'll add our barley, let that cook for a little bit, let that thicken up, and then we'll go from there. Thanks. Alright guys, we got our onions and our onions, garlic, and leeks cooked there. We're going to add our carrots Gonna get them to start to soften down, our carrots, potatoes, and some of our stock. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our barley to that. As far as seasonings go, I actually like this Greek seasoning I just found. I'm gonna add a little bit of this to it, along with some poultry seasoning for flavor. And then yeah, the Greek seasoning has sage and thyme and some other Greek spices in there. So we're going to use that, but we're going to add our seasonings later. Actually kind of tastes like a jazzed up poultry seasoning, but it's got quite a bit of salt in it, so I want to add some of my own poultry seasoning to it so that we can cut down on the salt a little bit. So we're going to cook our carrots and potatoes off. I'm going to add some stock to it right now. Bring that up to a simmer. Let them start to cook down. Alright guys, we got our potatoes and our carrots are moving right along, so we're going to add our barley to it now. Let that cook in and help thicken it up. Now come on, that'll take a little while to cook. Barley will help make it thick, and then the starch and the potatoes will help thicken it. You know, it kind of adds you something that's good for your body instead of the flour and stuff like that. So we're gonna add a little bit of our Greek seasoning, a little bit of that in there, and then we're gonna add probably a good tablespoon of each of poultry seasoning. And then once that starts to thicken up, then what we'll do is we'll add our corn and our chicken, check our seasoning levels, and then go from there. We want to thicken it up so it's nice and you know, it'll be a nice pie filling for a chicken pot pie. Alright guys, our barley came up, soaked up a lot of the fluid like we thought it was going to do, the liquid. We added our chicken, our corn, and added more seasoning because we adjusted it more. So we added probably at least another tablespoon of the Greek seasoning, and then added another tablespoon of the poultry seasoning, and also added probably about a teaspoon of cayenne, and the cayenne really gave it a nice little notch up a little bit. So we'll let that cool off, get our pie crust together, and then we'll fill our pie.